Donald Trump is in court today, and I'm struck by something that I saw yesterday Kash Patel say on social media, on one of these, I think he might have been on with Don Jr. Anyway, he says, quote, "This is going to be the most publicized trial in world history. And we have to be able to use that process, not to dismiss the case right away, but to show the American people the prosecutorial corruption they're engaged in." Now, this is actually strategic thinking. And by that, I mean, we might all wish, oh, well, you know what, it'd be really great if the judge, Eileen Cannon, takes a look at this indictment and goes, this is ridiculous, dismissed, case ended. But Kash Patel is saying that actually may not be the best thing to happen. Why? Because these people have now played their hand, and they've overplayed their hand. And we need the American people to see close up the lengths to which they will go, the way that they falsify evidence, the way in which they twist words, the way in which they take inapplicable statutes and try to stick them onto things that you did, the way in which they take a Presidential Records Act, which has no criminal penalties, and try to sort of infuse criminality into something that's not criminal at all, the way in which they make a big hoopla, there's defense threats to the country, then you look and you go, what defense threat? What are you actually talking about? So let's go into some of that and see what we're actually talking about. Now, first of all, the question is, did Trump make any money off of any of this? I've been talking about how Biden made money in China, made money in Ukraine. He's collecting bribes. Did Trump actually sell anything? Answer, no. So, in fact, it's kind of funny. Biden goes, well, where's the money? This isn't, by the way, not the way an innocent person talks, right? Where's the money? Well, he's almost taunting people to find the money. And I found the money. I can tell you where the money is. Just take the added net worth of Biden's family, which is to say Jim Biden, Frank Biden, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, add it up. It's tens of millions of dollars. And then you ask, how do they make that money? What is their business? What do they do? And the answer is nothing. Joe Biden is basically a political guy. He's been getting a government salary. And all these other guys have no talent at all. They have no capabilities. They have no capabilities in these areas in which they are supposedly making money. So it's very obvious when you look at the money is all being paid for access to Joe Biden. And that's how he owns multiple homes. That's how he owns all this. He lives this life of extreme luxury. They all do. And there's no way to account for it. Now, with the Clintons, at least you could say, well, Bill Clinton's making big speaking fees, and that's where he got some of the money. It still doesn't explain how the Clintons got to $100 million. They, too, are running a racket exactly like the Bidens. So this has now become, you could almost call it a democratic formula that operates with one variation or another. Let's turn to Trump. The first question about Trump is that he is accused of holding on to these documents and not turning them over. So you might think that the focus of the case of Trump would be, hey, listen, we're not talking about how you got the documents because a lot of other people took documents. Obama took documents. Biden took documents. We're going to try to distinguish your case from Biden's by focusing on the fact that we were in contact with you. The FBI was in contact with you. There was a subpoena issued for these documents in May of 2022, and you still held on to them. So that would be an attempt to sort of separate out Trump's case. But guess what? When you look at all these so-called espionage counts in the indictment, it turns out that they're accusing Trump of holding these documents, quote, willfully since when? Not May of 2022 when the subpoena was visited, not June when the FBI counterterrorism guy came over to Mar-a-Lago, but really from January 20th, 2021. So Trump is accused of willfully keeping these documents since the day he left office. Very interesting. Now, what are these defense documents? Well, I can tell you at least about a couple of them. Two of them that are supposedly dealing with nuclear secrets. Let's look at what these nuclear secrets are. I'm going to talk about two. Number one, letter from Obama to Trump telling him that North Korea's nuclear status is, quote, a grave national security threat. Big deal. I have a letter from Obama telling me that North Korea is a problem. They've got nuclear weapons, you know. Yeah, Captain, this is like an exercise in obviousology. And supposedly this was a grave national secret that Trump was holding on to. But let's look at the second one. Quote, letter from Chairman Kim noting no intent to use North Korean nukes offensively. Kid writes Trump, he goes, I have no intention of using these nukes in an offensive way. They're for defensive purposes. U.S. national security is gravely threatened by Trump hanging on to this. This sounds to me almost like a memento. This is the kind of thing that you'd like to keep. Big deal. There's absolutely nothing here that we don't know. There's nothing here that is surprising in the slightest. There are no nuclear secrets here. So this gives you an idea of the laughable level that we are dealing with here. You know, right before Trump left, he declassified a bunch of documents that dealt with Crossfire Hurricane. The effort to secretly tape him, to frame him, and I think that he held on to some of these documents, including those documents. Why? Because he figured that who knows what's going to happen to those documents if I leave them behind. I want to have with me proof that there was this massive ring of illegal spying, and the police agencies of government were part of that, as they were. And I think that a lot of this is now a revenge and a cover-up for that. They're trying to cover up the fact that they spied illegally on Trump, and they're doing it now by trying to say, oh, Trump had documents that he was not entitled to have in his possession.